Good evening, everyone. My name is Ellen Dunn, and I'm the very proud principal of Darien High School. I'd like to welcome all of you to our annual open house for families of our incoming ninth grade. I'm sure many of you, especially those who are new to Darien High, are both excited and somewhat anxious about the transition. I assure you that you have nothing to worry about. Darien High School is an exceptional place, and I suspect that after tonight's presentations, much of your apprehension will be alleviated. This evening, you'll get to meet our wonderful department leaders and a few of our excellent teachers, and I expect that you will leave this evening confident that DHS is a school where students are supported, nurtured, challenged, and respected, and in which our young people thrive. Please know that if you have any questions about anything you hear tonight, you may feel free to reach out to me or any of the presenters here. And I'd now like to call upon Megan Emanuelson, our Director of Guidance, who will MC tonight's presentation. Thank you all for coming, and enjoy.
Thank you, Mrs. Dunn, and thank you all for being here. My name is Megan Emanuelson. I'm the Director of Guidance for grades 6 through 12 in town. Thank you for joining us as we kick off the celebration and the start of the high school career of our class of 2027, which just, we were saying, sounds futuristic to us, even though it's just a few years away. In addition to Principal Dunn, we also have 3 assistant principals, Kate Demoulas, Mark Mazzoni, and Paul Ribeiro. Like your school counselors, they will be on a 4-year journey with you, so you'll have some staff that will stay with your family for the time that you are here with us. I'd like to thank our wonderful department chairs and department coordinators who are joining us this evening to share their expertise and their enthusiasm for the wonderful subjects that they lead. Thank you to our custodians and our IT staff for all of their help in preparing for this evening. And a thank you to our DHS PA. I hope you all got a jump on your Blue Wave spirit and your Blue Wave pride. We take that very seriously here, so thank you for providing the spirit wear. Thank you to our National Honor Society students and our Blue Wave anchors, who you will have a chance to interact with later tonight. They'll be helping you to navigate the halls during our breakout sessions, so we do not expect you to do that on your own this evening. Blue Wave anchors are seniors who volunteer to help our 9th graders with a successful transition to high school. As you can imagine, a student perspective on coming to high school is crucial. Blue Wave anchors lead a large part of our orientation in August, and they are assigned to each 9th grade advisory, and where they remain until they leave us for internship in May. They truly become upperclassmen mentors to our 9th graders. I'm so proud to share that we usually have about 1/3 of our senior class who volunteer for this position. Our students here think it's critical to help our youngest students to transition smoothly, and we're so proud of that participation. So by a show of hands, for how many of you is this your first student entering high school? Okay. And for how many is it your last? Just a couple. Okay. So you are all nervous and excited for completely different reasons. I have 2 in college. I have a freshman in college and a junior in college, which is hard for me to believe, so I have sat in your seats and have felt all the feels that you are feeling. Whether you are a new family to our DHS community or have been with us for many years, I hope that you find this evening, I hope you leave this evening feeling informed, excited, and confident that your children will have a wonderful and enriching 4 years with us. One of my favorite things that Mrs. Dunn always says is, as a staff, we loved high school so much we never left. This is truly a special place. It is a special place to work. It is a really special place to go to school. And I think you'll hear the passion and the enthusiasm from our department leaders who really do represent our larger DHS community. So a little bit of about the format for this evening. Each department chair will speak for a few minutes to give you an overview of their department and their courses, paying particular attention to the 9th grade year. At the end of the panel presentation, we invite you to venture into our building to see student work, to explore some of our beautiful facility, and to hear more directly from our departments. We'll have 2 15-minute sessions with passing time, of course. And then our students will again be in the hallways to help guide you. The presentation is being recorded, so please don't feel like you have to take copious notes. Oops, go back. So this is a little bit about the staff at our school. So you've had the chance to meet Mrs. Dunn. I shared with you about our 3 assistant principals. You are looking at our department chairs and our coordinators for each content area. We have 8 full-time school counselors, myself as the director of guidance, 4 full-time psychologists plus a full-time psychologist at Fitch Academy, 1 social worker, a school resource officer, 2 librarians, 160-ish amazing faculty and staff, campus monitors, and amazing, excellent support staff throughout the building. This is a little bit about the registration timeline. So in the middle of January, our high school counselors had the chance to go down and meet with our 8th graders and our 8th grade counselors. It's really one of our favorite weeks of the year. They are so darn cute. And talk a little bit about coming to high school, what is a credit, what is an elective, to really get them excited about their transition up. So we spent some time with them in January. Next week, I saved next week for myself selfishly, so I'll be down with the 8th grade counselors, helping them to choose electives. So that's always a big deal. So we'll be in the classrooms really talking through, making sure that they input everything correctly, answering any questions that they have about electives, talking about credits and eating, breathing, and sleeping balance. So that'll happen next week. And then at the end of the week, you'll have access, you'll be able to log into your parent portal and see the academic recommendations as well as the electives that your children hopefully have chosen with a conversation with you. Hopefully that conversation is happening. You'll get an email at the end of the day on February 10th explaining a little bit about next steps if you want to appeal one of the decisions or maybe drop down in a level or change the elective or the world language. So there'll be instructions on how to do that. So that communication will go out at the end of next week. In early March, if you want to, let's say your child is currently taking Spanish and they want to take Mandarin, we'll have March 10th will be around the deadline to do that. We spend most of the spring building the master schedule based on what students say they want to take. So we build it from scratch every year so we can really do our best to meet the interest of students, which changes. Some years we'll have 2 sections of ceramics, some years we'll have 6. So we build it new every year based on what kids say they want to take. And then the day before school starts, we will have our 9th grade orientation. If you are in town, it really is an amazing day. We bring our 9th graders in with our senior Blue Wave anchors. We get them all hyped for school. They rotate through each of their classes and meet their teachers. We give them a really awesome lunch. So it's a great day, and get them prepared for school before our upperclassmen are here. This is a typical 9th grade schedule. So every 9th grader is scheduled for English 9, biology, their next math course, Western civilization, PE health, and a bio lab, which are sort of partial periods and share period, an elective including a world language, a full period of elective, and usually a study hall. So our freshmen are assigned to a study hall. Our upperclassmen, if you have older children, might have free periods, but we really feel like the structure of a study hall and the support of a faculty member during that time is helpful to the 9th graders. So all 9th graders will be taking 6 classes plus PE each semester. Certainly, if you have any questions, there's lots of people that you can reach out to. So if there's questions about a placement or a course from 8th to 9th grade, we would encourage you to talk to your 8th grade teachers, certainly our department chairs, if you have a question about placement. Any questions about their overall program or the experience at the high school, any questions about life at the high school, you can reach out to your 8th grade counselors. You're always welcome to reach out to me as well. And then there's our website is like a living, breathing organism. I would certainly encourage you to check it out if you haven't had a chance. It's just a wealth of information. And our counseling tab, there's a course selection tab with lots of resources, including the course catalog and electives and graduation requirements, and probably more than you want to know at this point, but just know that the website is really just a wonderful resource, and I'd encourage you to take a look. You will hear a lot about the Darien Public Schools vision of the graduate if you have not already. So this is a K-12 vision. And so it really is about on a K-12 journey, what we would like our students to leave us knowing and doing and being, and how they walk through the world and how they approach studies and friendships and relationships and life and work. And so we have it down to these 6 competencies: communication, creativity, curiosity, empathy, independence, and integrity. And we really we talk a lot about it, we weave it into a lot of what we do, and so you will definitely be hearing more about it because we are certainly trying to live that here as we grow these young adults. So now I have the pleasure of turning it over to my colleague, Christina Mauricio, who is the chair of the World Language Department.
Oh, hi. Thanks, Megan. Good evening. My name is Christina Vasquez Mauricio. I'm chair of World Languages for grades 6 through 12. I'd like to start off by sharing our vision for language learning in our district, which spans grades K through 12. Although taking a world language is considered an academic elective, you actually need 1 year of it to graduate from high school, and we're proud of our robust program both at Middlesex and at the high school. My colleagues and I firmly believe that proficiency in more than one language is essential to function in a global society, and in order to do that, we equip all of our students with the tools necessary to function in the language that they're learning, but most of all, through the study of a world language, we foster a sense of inquisitiveness and respect for other cultures. Most competitive colleges and universities look for students that have taken 2 to 4 years of a world language, and some offer advanced standing to students meeting those requirements in high school. Just over 80% of students at DHS take a world language for all 4 years of high school, and some of our students even study 2 languages at the same time. The world language course sequence at Middlesex, with which I am sure you are familiar, looks like this. If your child studied a world language there, she or he most likely progressed through the sequence like so, going from 6th to 7th to 8th grade in either Spanish or French. Now there's Mandarin, but it's not there because it doesn't really affect this group. Your child may have also come to the district with strong heritage speaking skills in one of these languages and therefore progressed through the sequence a year ahead of their peers. Upon arriving here at Darien High School, as you can see, as you can see, your child now has more choices. Not only do we continue to offer French and Spanish, but we also offer a 4-year study of Latin and Mandarin Chinese. This coming school year, we will also begin to offer American Sign Language at level 1 and hope to expand the program into the future. If your child did not study a world language at Middlesex, that's totally okay. We offer level 1 in all of the languages. We offer a level 1 introductory course, in each of the languages offered at DHS. Students that continue with Spanish enter at either levels 2, 3, or 3 honors, and those who continue with French enter at level 2 or level 2 accelerated. Both of those languages offer level 5 and advanced placement. If you have ever sat in a world language classroom before, you most likely remember grammar rules, filling in the blanks, vocabulary lists, etc., and a lot has changed, thankfully. And our curriculum is adapted to meet 21st century standards of world language instruction. And our curriculum is based on thematic content standards and proficiency standards, very similar to what happens in the middle school. Our students don't only learn about the language that they're studying, but they also learn in the language that they're studying. And we believe that each student, regardless of where they are in their study of a world language, can achieve a level of functional ability. Our classes are therefore taught in the target language so students' proficiency level can grow as they progress throughout the program, regardless of at which level they enter. I am most proud of our students' world language achievements outside of the classroom, and this is a photo of world language students that represented DHS at the Connecticut Organization of Language Teachers statewide poetry recitation contest. 28 heritage speakers and language learners, of the 28 heritage speakers and language learners who competed, 16 earned first, second, or third place in their respective language. And we hope to send a team this year if the contest is once again held in person. We also have 4 language honor societies in each of the languages we offer. And this is a photo of one of our recent induction ceremonies. It's a very special evening where we invite our students' families and friends to celebrate their achievements and are looking forward to our celebration in May. In the 2018-19 school year, the state of Connecticut adopted the Seal of Biliteracy and Global Seal of Biliteracy, 2 nationally and internationally recognized levels of proficiency recognized by the United States Department of Education, which recognize high school students' achievements in a second language. And we're proud to say that we have offered this opportunity at DHS since its inception, and with last year's tally of students, we have awarded the Seal of Biliteracy to over 500 students in 4 years. To earn the Seals of Biliteracy at graduation, a student must meet graduation requirements in English and achieve intermediate proficiency in a language they're studying in school. To measure this, our world language students take a computer-based proficiency assessment. If your student is currently in Spanish or French at Middlesex, they will also take this assessment in a couple of weeks, and you'll get an email from me probably tomorrow about that. We also offer the Seals of Biliteracy to students that are heritage speakers of a language they're learning at home beginning in 10th grade. Last week, I sent a survey to all students and families in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade to fill out this information. If you're unsure if you or your child signed up, you can come and see me in A203 after tonight, and we can talk about that, and I can make sure that you're signed up. One of the newest programs offered at DHS is our Global Education and International Travel Program, which was approved by the Board of Education last year. And I'm so excited for this program because it gives our DHS students an opportunity to take their interests in language learning to the next level by actually going to the places where these languages are spoken. The trips are open to rising 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, with the goal of running language immersion trips for world language students in the spring and leadership trips and service learning trips for all students in the summer. Last year, students traveled to Spain in April, 58 students and 8 chaperones went. It was amazing. And to Germany and Switzerland in July, and in a few weeks, we are going to Galapagos and Ecuador, and to Italy this summer. And I'd like to share with you some more world language resources that may be of interest to you. And this is my email address where you can contact me with any questions. That's also a link to our departmental website. Everything and more that I talked about tonight is there. And if you have a rising 9th grader who is a heritage speaker of French, Mandarin Chinese, or Spanish, please reach out to me so I can make sure that they're placed correctly. And I'll be in A203, like I said before, this evening if you'd like to talk in person. And thank you so much for coming this evening. And I look forward to your child becoming bilingual or even trilingual by the time they graduate high school. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. I will turn it over to Jacqueline Samus, who is our K-12 art coordinator.
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Samus, and I'm the K-12 art curriculum coordinator and DHS art teacher. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about the different course offerings throughout the art department, and I'm asking you to please follow our art Instagram to see the most current work happening across our department. Starting on this slide with our most recent Scholastic Art Award winners, these 4 pieces are from our different AP art offerings. On the second slide, you can see more examples of Scholastic winners from DHS. The 2 black and white portraits were created in our Art Foundations and Drawing and Painting 1 courses, both courses that are available to freshmen, and I'll talk more about them on a later slide. The complete list of images and our 13 Scholastic Award winners will be included in February's DHS happenings, or you can see them currently on our latest Instagram reel. Next is a brief overview of our course offerings. We have 23 courses available to students and 11 that are open to freshmen. There is a drawing and painting path, a ceramics and sculpture path, and a digital and photography path. Students can reach an AP or honors level course through either of the pathways, and students are encouraged to try a wide variety of art electives, and they are able to move between the pathways based on their own personal interest. The next slide is the matrix of all the course offerings and showing how they link together, and including the prereqs. It's available on the guidance webpage because it's way too small to really be able to follow it on the screen. So our drawing and painting pathway is one option for students. Students begin with Art Foundations and Drawing and Painting 1. In these courses, students focus on skill development, trying a wide variety of mediums and creative solutions to class projects. Students will work with drawing from direct observation and imagination. They will explore how to create shape and form and make objects look three-dimensional on a 2D surface. Students will gain more knowledge in working with acrylic, watercolor, pencil, oil pastel, chalk pastel, and most importantly, their idea development. After Drawing and Painting 1, students can continue through the Drawing and Painting pathway to our AP course. In our Ceramics and Sculpture path, students typically start with Ceramics 1, which is our most popular course that we have at the high school. In this year-long course, students focus on hand-building techniques and learning how to throw on the pottery wheel. Students will create multiple functional pieces using both construction methods. When I visit the middle school and talk to the 8th graders, I hear them being concerned about getting into ceramics. I don't know if any of you 8th graders are talking about this. I want you not to worry. There is almost a Ceramics 1 section every period of the day, and so students are able to access this course. If they cannot fit the full year elective, though, into their course and they still want to work with clay sculpture is a half-year course that explores only hand-building techniques and is an option for students who can't make that full year fit. For students who love ceramics, they typically continue through the ceramics pathway into our AP 3D course. Additionally, we have 3 standalone classes that are open to all students. Drawing is a course where students use only dry drawing mediums and learn a variety of drawing techniques. Students explore mark making, observational, and imaginary styles. Historical art making is a hands-on art history class where students study an artist or time period and then create art in that style. Students will not have to take any tests or memorize dates, but instead learn about the material, artist, or movement by creating their own artwork. Sculpture is a 3D class where students explore multiple materials other than clay. Students work with cardboard, plaster, paper mache, wood, wire, and metal. All right, our digital pathway, I'm going to start with talking about graphic design 1 and 2. In this course, students will learn how to use Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop to create original drawings and images. Students will create several projects that address design issues, including poster and product design, and by using the elements of art and principles of design. Both of these courses are 1 semester and count towards the STEM graduation requirement. Our second most popular course that is open to everyone is Digital Photography 1. In this course, students will learn about photography, how to control and capture a great shot, and how to express themselves and their ideas through the camera. Photography is a medium that is accessible to all students who want to take an art class, but maybe aren't as confident with their hands-on skills. After Digital Photo 1, students can continue to Digital Photo 2, and both of these courses are 1 semester and count towards their STEM graduation requirement. Additionally, we offer darkroom photography for students in grades 10 through 12. For students who are passionate about photography, this is a wonderful opportunity for students to explore this traditional medium and learn how to use film and an SLR camera. There's something very magical in teaching students about photography, both digital and 35 millimeter. And students who are interested in this can continue to take the AP 2D Design and Photography exam. Finally, on my last slide, we have an art department Instagram that I've been talking about. I hope you all will follow it. It's a great way to see what's happening in our department daily. And I'm going to conclude tonight by just saying that we've recently asked our students to respond to the question, we do this often, what does art mean to you? And we received a wide variety of answers from our artists. However, we saw a larger theme that emerged around connections to family, friends, and peers, a creative outlet, and an opportunity to learn and create during the day that is different from all of their other academic classes. So please come see our amazing students in action. I've got a classroom full of advanced and AP drawing and painting students in F101. These students were once making the same choices that you and your child are discussing, and while they're all incredibly talented artists and have worked very hard to get to this level, they all started in courses like Art Foundations and Graphic Design 1. So we're in F101, just up the elevator, and you'll see a bunch of hardworking students tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Dr. Felicia Bellows and math.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Felicia Bellows, and I'm the math department chair here at the middle school and high school. Over the next 4 years, your child will have the opportunity to take a wide variety of math courses with an exceptional group of very dedicated educators. As a department, we believe that learning math should be relevant, engaging, and student-centered. So as a result, your child will be experiencing math in many different ways. Here at the high school, we offer courses for every ability level, ranging from Algebra 1 through multivariable calculus. In addition, within the classroom setting, we provide students with the opportunity for differentiated instruction. And with that, that means that students can experience mathematics in a way that complements their learning style. Classroom activities are student-centered and lessons are differentiated to accommodate the analytical, the practical, and the creative learner. The foundational courses that most students take at Darien High School are Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. And these courses are sequential, and they provide the prerequisite skills for higher level, future advanced college level courses. Most of our students, and they're offered at different levels, most of our students complete the equivalent of 4 or more years of high school math during their time here. And we currently offer many sections and levels of calculus, statistics, and college math topics for juniors and seniors. We have many different pathways, and what I've put up on the slide are just some samples of some of the pathways. There's no way I could do every single permutation combination of it. But these are some sample pathways that students can take, although it's a small representation of the multiple options that are available for students. So we really work individually with students to figure out the pathway that's best for their needs, and those needs may change throughout time. The students in Darien High School consistently perform very well on state and national exams. We have a high number of students in the math department participating in the advanced placement program, and typically, always, our students score well above the state and national averages. There are many students who love math, and they want to get involved outside the classroom experiences. So we currently have a math team, a math modeling club, and a chapter of Mu Alpha Theta, which is our math honor society. Our math department has a Learning Connections room where students can get extra help, and it's open before school, during school, and after school, and it's in B115. So after the presentation, feel free to come down and visit, and you can see the room and ask any questions that you may have. The next 4 years will be truly an exceptional experience for your child, and you'll find that they'll grow and learn tremendously, especially with their appreciation for mathematics and how it applies to the real world. Please rest assured we'll work closely with the middle school teachers about placement. It's a fluid process, and if you have any questions, you're welcome to visit the website or to reach out to me or to reach out to your child's teacher. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting you and seeing your child in the fall.
Thank you, Felicia. Francis Janasco, English.
Good evening. It's great to see you here. I'm Francis Janasco. I'm the department chair for English at the middle school and the high school. Welcome. This is a great place. There's so many things that your students are going to be able to do here, and there's a place for everyone here, I can assure you. I'm going to welcome you to the high school English with a few photo highlights. So behind me, clockwise from the top left, in grades 9 and 10, we complement our Shakespeare units by bringing in teacher artists from Shakespeare on the Sound to workshop some key scenes. The next photo is of a monthly evening meeting of our DHS chapter of the National English Honor Society. So starting in grade 10, students can apply for that Honor Society, and we would welcome them to do that. And then finally, the bottom photo, at the very end of the year, traditionally, our juniors in our AP Lang courses participate in what we call the editorial board project, which plays a key role in selecting the summer reading for the following year's juniors. So it's a really cool project, and these are just a few of the experiences that your students can look forward to in English in their time here. I'm going to move ahead and just emphasize that 4 years of English is a graduation requirement for your student. And behind me is the sequence of our core English courses. You're already familiar with our grade 8 offerings because your student is either taking English 8 or English 8 Advanced. For grade 9, your student will be placed in either English 9 or English 9 Accelerated. Now, as of today, you should have received an email from me regarding that placement. Just how many of you are aware that you have an email from me about that placement? Oh, good, yeah. And how many of you are waiting for a response from me and having sent me an email? I have a lot in my I promise I'll get back to you by tomorrow, okay? But anyway, I hope that you'll read that communication because it outlines our placement criteria as well as some next steps that you may want to move forward with your student. I'll talk more about English 9 and English 9 Accelerated in a minute, but I just want to highlight that our honors program begins in grade 10, where we have English 10 honors and English 10. The focus of grade 11 is on American literature, where we have an AP experience as well as an interdisciplinary experience, which is paired with a history class. And in grade 12, we have a host of really great choices for our seniors. We have 2 AP offerings. We have 8 semester-long literature-themed options, as well as a very engaging English capstone course that our students take. The course features a graduation requirement term paper, and what we think is a very interesting essential question, what does it mean to be an educated citizen? Looking at English 9 specifically, or the 9th grade English, our 2 courses. English 9, the essential question for that course is, what is a classic? What constitutes a work of classic literature? And that is a thread that winds its way through the course. The focus is on fundamental skills, the same skills that we've been building at the middle school. You can see that some of the writing genres that your students have been working on in the middle school are also represented in English 9. In that course, we read of Mice and Men, To Kill a Mockingbird, and Romeo and Juliet, among other things. And the course moves at a very reasonable pace as we try our best to support all of our learners in our classes. The culminating project, really the final exam project, asks students to apply what they've learned in the course to an independently selected book that they have read in order to build a case for the status of that book as either a classic or not a classic. English 9 Accelerated, its essential question is, how does literature help us understand ourselves and our place in the world? That course has a heavier emphasis on interpretive moves and abstract thinking. Some of the works that they'll read in the class are The Power of Myth, Dickens' Great Expectations, what's not, I didn't list it there, but they read the Odyssey, Homer's epic, and the summer reading for that course is Anthony Doerr's Pulitzer Prize winning All the Light We Cannot See. In general, we have more readings with more complexity, and the course is designed to prepare students for our very rigorous English 10 honors class. We have some really great elective opportunities for your students for grade 9. The first two that are listed behind me, Introduction to Media Studies and Digital Journalism, a blended course. Those I want to highlight are in the course catalog, not under English, but under media. They're taught by English teachers. We really support them. We really promote them, but they're in a different place in the course catalog, so please remember that. The first is a prerequisite for the second, an Intro to Media Studies. The focus is on some more basic journalism writing genres, such as the editorial, the news report, reviews. And then digital journalism is a traditional long-standing course here. It's project-based, and most of the pieces that students work on wind up in our digital newspaper. But we have a new instructional model this year called a blended model. The course is running right now for the very first time in that model. And essentially what a blended model means is that in a student's schedule, they will meet, with regular in-person classroom experiences, but they will also have digital meetings with digital lessons as well. So it's a different kind of model. We're very excited to be running it right now. We're the only, it's the only course in the district that is following this model, and it's a very popular model across the country, so you'll be hearing more about that. Our other two I want to highlight, and you'll hear more about these. Drama 1, it's not just about acting techniques. There are presentation skills focused on in that course. It's a great chance for kids to get up and move around during the day, which they don't always have the chance to do. And creative writing for our creative souls. It's a chance to workshop and get feedback on fiction and poetry. Finally, I want to highlight some of the clubs and activities that our department supports because they have a focus on reading and writing that we work on every day with our kids. We have NERAD, that's Darien spelled backwards, by the way. That is the name of our long-running student newspaper here at our school. We have Current, which is our student-produced literary magazine. We have, a lot of you are familiar with Theater 308 and the great productions they put on this very stage behind me. Finally, I mentioned earlier, we have our chapter of the National English Honor Society as their service requirement. The students who are in that society, they serve as peer writing tutors in our writing center. So if nothing else, when you leave here tonight, I hope that you'll remember that when your student next year is, if they're struggling on a writing assignment, hopefully you can get them to make an appointment and join with, have a session with some of the best writers in the school, and it's there really designed to help our 9th grade students. So rather than go to ChatGPT, maybe they can work with some of our student peers. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email, maybe again, and I hope to see you in the breakout sessions following this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. And I just want to also highlight a course that's a little bit of a standalone course. It's under the reading section in our course catalog. It's our reading and study skills. It's a one-semester class. It can be repeated for credit, and the focus is on reading strategies, organization, and study skills. And so it's a really wonderful course, especially for a student who might need a little bit of either some close reading strategies, some critical reading strategies, or some organizational skills. So that's also an elective option that is credit-bearing. All right, Christina Bross-Taylor, special education.
Good evening. My name is Christina Braz-Taylor, and I am the chairperson of the Special Education Department here at Darien High School. The things that I will be speaking to and the courses that I will be mentioning are specific to students who have IEPs. If your child has an IEP, they will be assigned a case manager. The case manager is the point person who facilitates communication between the student, the parent, other teachers, and related service providers. The case manager is also responsible for progress monitoring, which is done on a quarterly basis, but there is more regular communication along with that as well. We tend to communicate every 2 weeks or more with parents. That person, the case manager, is also the person responsible for monitoring any modifications or accommodations that the student may be entitled to. Along with coordinating the related services. They also are the person who administers academic assessments upon determination that the student applies for special education services, as well as for triennial testing. Any student with an IEP at the high school has a learning center. There may be different periods for different students based on need, but they all have a learning center. The learning center is very similar to the resource room model at MMS. It is taught by a special education teacher who targets skills instruction. And in the Learning Center, they can work on pre- and post-teaching, study skills, executive functioning, reading, writing, math, and also post-secondary transition and advocacy skills. One of the courses, thank you, Megan, is the co-taught class model. So if your child has a need to be in that class and is assigned to be in that class, it affords them an opportunity to be in a general education setting, taking a 300-level course, but having a special education teacher who supports with specialized instruction. So it's a special education teacher and a general education teacher. There are also students who just happen to be assigned to that class as regular education students. It's a wonderful model. When you walk into the classroom, sometimes it's hard to identify who the special education teacher is and who the regular education teacher, and that's when it's at its best practice. We also offer comprehensive classes, and comprehensive classes are classes where we provide a modified academic curriculum, but it is aligned to the 300-level courses, and the teacher teaching the class is someone who is either dually certified. So if a teacher is teaching comprehensive math, they're a certified math teacher as well as certified special education teacher. And in instances, this year it just so happens that we didn't have a dually certified teacher to teach the science class, so we have a science teacher teaching with a special education teacher. We also have a parent coffee on February 9th, where we will share much more information just specific to students with IEPs and 504s. So February 9th, 9 a.m., all are welcome to attend if your child has a 504 or an IEP. We also will be having articulation meetings. So if your child is at MMS and has an IEP, you will start receiving invitations as of today. Those PPTs, where we articulate the transition between middle school and high school, will take place between February 27th and March 17th. So you will receive an email invitation. They will be taking place on Zoom, and students are invited to attend. When a student turns 13, we start to have them being active members of the PPT process. I will be upstairs if anyone has any questions and wants to delve deeper into what supports we provide for students with IEPs here at Darien High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Technology, engineering, business, computer science. Greg Darren.
Good evening. I'm Greg Darren. I'm the 6 to 12 Department Coordinator for Technology, Engineering, Business, and Computer Science, and I teach here at the high school as well. There's my email if you need to contact me. I know you can't see that website really well, but it'll be posted on a later slide. And if you follow my Twitter, you'll get a little bit better inside look of what goes on in our classroom. So for the technology and engineering courses, we offer right around about 20 courses for students, and the 7 that are listed here are available to freshmen. The Architecture 1 course focuses on residential, home design, construction, and some model building. They use CAD as well during the design process. And the CAD course, it stands for Computer-Aided Drafting and Design, they'll focus on more smaller mechanical designs, similar to what you might design for a phone case or a phone holder, even a kind of a computer mouse design, anything that's small or even moves around, they'll design that in CAD, and they'll be able to either 3D print or make some models based off of that. They also do some material processing in that course with a focus on some metalworking and some plastic work as well. The Fundamentals of Engineering course, if you have a student who's a little bit unsure of what to take, that Fundamentals course is a good kind of introductory course of a little bit of everything we do. They do some CAD work in there. They use some few minor machines that you might use in one of the woodworking courses. They explore through hands-on model building. They make some cars and some towers, some planes, through a design problem-solving loop, and really get a feel of what we do kind of down in the technology and engineering program. The DIY class is another one of our hands-on courses. I think of that, we created this more of kind of a life skill course, and it came from experience of living in a home and driving a car and realizing that these things break all the time. So we go over how to basically maintain your car, some basic things in terms of checking oil, jump-starting a car, changing a flat, changing oil, and I think the extent that we do is changing brake pads. For the home repair, we do some basic plumbing, how to maintain a toilet, changing faucets, plunging a toilet, a little bit of everything. And we also do some sheetrock repair. And you probably might have a dent at your home, so if your son or daughter takes our course and dents your wall, they could hopefully now repair that. In our electronics course, a little bit different. Oh, in DIY, we also do some residential wiring as well, switches and plugs and lights. In the electronics course, we focus on a little bit smaller electronics. They'll understand how a circuit works, different components like resistors and transistors and what they do, and some microcontrollers like Arduinos, a little bit of coding will be explored in the electronics course as well. Woodworking 1 course, there's a lot of embedded life skills in there too in terms of how to use some basic tools, screwdrivers, some drills, some small machinery, and the kids all learn how to use the equipment safely and properly in order to process the material of wood. And we also talk about the importance of that renewable resource in our society as well. And the video production course is also found under the media studies course, and students will learn just kind of the introduction and basics of how to set up a video, how to add B-roll footage, add a voiceover, set up some news shots and do some news stories, and they'll do some commercials to kind of hone in on those skills. Over on the right side of that screen, you'll see a list of some of the clubs that we also offer. We have a robotics. We do FIRST robotics, and we also do some BattleBot type robots right here in Norwalk. We just started a National Technical Honor Society this year. We have a Women in STEM Club and a Technology Student Association that also competes with some STEM competitions as well. And before we actually change the slide, I'll mention that just about all of our courses, whether they're business or tech or computer science, are semester courses, which I think is kind of a good thing. It gives kids a chance to kind of dabble in some different courses and realize what they like, and I think more importantly, realize what they don't like, and they could kind of follow a different pathway that might suit them for the future. And these are our computer science courses, and the AP Computer Science, the AP Computer Science Principles, and the Advanced Programming are our only full-year courses. So every other course that you see will be a semester-long course. And if we go to the next slide, we'll see the courses that are available to freshmen. So the computer science course is an intro course for kids just kind of with a little bit experience or no experience at all that just kind of want to get interested to computer programming. We use Java language, and that's one of the computer courses, or the computer science courses in the picture that you see there. We also have an app development course who kids might want to focus more on coding related to iOS apps. We use a Mac lab for that. And we have a computer animation course. Students will design characters on a computer, be able to animate them, and follow a storyline along with that. And the web design course is students will design websites. They'll do a little bit of HTML code in there, and they'll also use some different programs to be able to design the websites as well. And these are all of our business courses, and just glancing at them again, these are all semester-long courses as well. The picture that you see right there happened on the stage right here. That's from our business and entrepreneurship class. And in that particular course, they'll come up with a lot of different designs for different business opportunities. They'll research the competition, and they'll come up with a marketing a plan to be able to pitch this idea to quote-unquote sharks, if you've ever seen Shark Tank before, and see if the teachers or sharks would like to invest in their company. The DECA Club, too, I see the logo that's there, is one of our large business clubs, and that's a competitive club as well, and they compete in a state and national competition each year. If you go to the next slide, if mine is working there. And these are the courses that are available to freshmen. Business and entrepreneurship, which I mentioned already. We have a marketing course, again, all semester courses, and students will learn the basic skills in marketing, whether they're marketing themselves or they're marketing a product, finding a demographic, and how to promote their product to that specific market. That is a prerequisite for a sports marketing. So a freshman can take the sports marketing course as long as they take marketing first semester. And that will focus more on marketing towards professional sporting events or venues, and kind of focus more on sports marketing rather than just products themselves. Investing in personal finance, I find that another one of those life skill type courses, because when you get a job one day, you'll have to figure out how to manage your finances. So they go over credit in investing in personal finance, how to balance a checkbook, when you're getting a car loan or a mortgage, kind of the fine lines between an APR or an APY, and just so students understand that before they leave high school. And we have a pre-law course that focuses pretty much on some business law, and that also talks about contracts or wills that you might learn throughout your life or have to learn throughout your life. And I know that you can't read this, but in this picture doesn't do it justice because it's a two-sided document. But these are our, I have printouts all over the place, it's okay. These are our course pathways for students who might want to follow an architectural pathway or a mechanical engineering pathway. And there's also one that's basically for all students. Courses like a DIY or a investing in personal finance I might consider a life skill. So if you want to take a look at those, I have some copies up front here. Our technology and engineering courses, our classrooms are actually right on the other side of this wall. So if you leave and take a right and a right, even if you don't stop in, feel free to just walk by and take a look at the classrooms themselves, and you could grab one of those handouts just to get a better look. And again, these are recommended pathways for students that might want to follow this type of career path and explore the courses that we offer and get some experience in that.
Okay, thank you, Greg.
Thank you very much.
Keith Killer in history.
Okay, good evening, everyone. In our Western Civ class, we will also be looking at running water and ancient Rome's aqueducts and bathhouses, but it probably won't be as practical as what you would get in the tech ed classes, so may be interesting. Welcome tonight, and thank you for being here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history department, specifically our Western Civ class. So as a department, our goal, our focus is really on helping students become active and engaged citizens by the time they leave this institution. We do that by helping them be informed and capable. We want them to be informed of the local and national and global world around them, so that they can understand the institutions, the systems that are in place in the world that we live in, but also understand the past that has brought us to the point we're at today. We want them to be capable in the sense that we want them to be able to understand the ideas of others, as well as to clearly articulate their ideas to others, and to really be critical thinkers. All the work we do in our classes revolves around these sorts of skill and content development. We do it in a bunch of different classes that we'll talk about in a second. But we are always asking ourselves this question, and always asking our students to ask, why is this important? Why is this significant? And we want students to start to see history as not just a random collection of facts that have been put together to be memorized, but rather as a complicated story that has to be unraveled and understood at a deep level. And that's something that comes through in the discussions we have with students, and by asking this question, why are we studying this? Why does this matter? And trying to help students to really see that. You can go to the next one, Megan. We accomplish this through our 4 core classes that we have in the department. These fit into the humanities graduation bucket, but students will have to take Western Civ, which I'll talk more about in a moment, World Studies as sophomores. They'll take American History as juniors, and they'll take Law and Government as seniors. Those last 3 classes, World Studies, American History, and Law and Government, we also offer at an honors or AP level. Once students get past their freshman year, that opens up to them here at the high school for us. Beyond these core requirements, we also offer a real variety of classes. And so within our department, we have philosophy, we have psychology, we have urban studies, we have Black and African American studies and Latino and Puerto Rican studies. We have contemporary issues. We have an AP Human Geography, an AP European History, and 3 different types of economics. So I feel like your students are faced with the wonderful problem of having so many great electives to choose from. Beyond my department, as well as I sit here and listen, I kind of think, I wonder what I will tell my own kids when they get to that point, what they would want to take. So, but we do offer a lot that hits a lot of different interests, and we will always, every year, be talking about those with students to make sure that they know what's coming up, what's available to them, and that they can see those classes for us. So, in terms of Western Civ specifically, Western Civilization is our European history class. This class is really looking at Europe from ancient Greece to World War II, or from Plato to NATO, as we sometimes like to say. It's designed really to give students an understanding of the foundations of our country, and to understand how ideas from the past, from other places and times, are used today to shape the world that we live in. And so that again kind of speaks to this idea of significance. Why would we study a place thousands of years ago or across an ocean? Who cares about this? Why does it matter? Well, it matters because it influences what our life is like today. And that's something that will come through as we study in this class and work together with students in this class. In terms of I've given you kind of a laundry list of skills that I'll kind of group together into a few different areas. This is what we spend a lot of time working on with students, helping them to gather information effectively, whether that be in the process of doing research or in engaging with readings, being inquisitive, being curious, and also being really critical of the things that are put in front of them. We want students to really develop an independent sense of thinking, and we want to see that grow as they move through the high school. The other area that we look at is their communication and their expression. How do they share their ideas with others, whether that's through writing or through oral expression or another medium. And lastly, how are they putting all their ideas together? How do they make sense of both the past and the present, and how can they try to understand that world that we live in? You can go to the next one, Megan. In terms of the actual content of the class, this class is a survey course, so we really study all different types of history in bits and pieces as we move through our different units. You can see in the last two bullets on the slide, those are the actual units that we run through, and on the top bullet there, you can see the different types of history that we study. So we do a little bit of social history, political history, economic history, military, intellectual. We try to give students a kind of a exposure to all of that as we move through our study of the past. You may also note that our first semester only really has the 4 units, and our second semester has more than that. And that's because we're helping students get acclimated when they come into the building. We're making sure that they have the foundation that they need to be successful in the class, and we're helping them along the way with that. So the last thing I guess I'll kind of leave with before I turn things over to Ms. Thompson is that the teachers in the department are really great resources. You know, the students' experience in 8th grade is actually quite similar to what they're going to experience when they move up to 9th grade, but there are higher expectations and greater levels of independence expected of students. And one of the things that can sometimes be really helpful is just giving them that encouragement to go and talk with their teacher. Go check in with him or her, send them an email, pop in before school or after school. They really do welcome it, and they really do want to be there to help students. So that's one little thing that can sometimes be really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Colleen Thompson is our K-12 Director of Music.
Good evening. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the music offerings at DHS. So I want to encourage your students to consider enrolling in one of our performance ensembles or other music electives. We offer full-year music ensemble classes for band, chorus, and orchestra. Those of you who have students currently participating in performance music at the middle school, you have seen some of our high school groups at the middle school concerts this year, so you should be familiar with those performing groups. Those of you who have students who weren't able to access a performance music class in middle school due to scheduling, I want to encourage you, if your child enjoys singing or has some experience playing an instrument, to enroll in these classes, as it's not too late to become a musician, even in high school. So the ensemble classes are dedicated class periods all year. So unlike at MMS, where students only had music twice per week, these classes have the same number of meetings as all their other core academic and elective classes. It is possible for students to take more than one ensemble class, so we schedule each ensemble to meet during the same period. For example, if a student wants to take both band and chorus, or both orchestra and chorus, they can do so by spending the first half of their class period in one class and the second half in the other. This option would require the approval of the instructor, as it does require the student spend some time rehearsing on their own, but we do have several students who take that option. Students in ensembles are required to participate in evening concerts, and these are announced well in advance. There's typically one per quarter. And a scheduling note for band students, students who play a percussion instrument should sign up for a percussion ensemble, while wind players should sign up for concert band. In addition to our full-year performance electives, we offer several one-semester classes that are open to 9th graders. Guitar Ensemble is a new class we're offering next year. This is open to interested guitar students at any ability level, from those who are new to their instrument to those who are more experienced players. Students can bring their own instrument, or they'll be provided with one. We are excited to offer this class, as guitar is not typically offered in the traditional school day instrumental ensembles. Students who took music explorations at Middlesex were introduced to the guitar, so we hope this will create a pathway for some new students to enroll in the department. Music technology is a non-performance class that introduces students to sound design, digital music composition and arranging. It will allow them to train with live audio equipment and potentially develop skills to work on real-world tech crews and in music studios. So this is a great option for students who are interested in principles of sound design and want to get a better understanding of how things work behind the scenes for music and theater performances. Music theory is a non-performance class in the fundamentals of music. Ear training, harmony, form and analysis, sight reading, composition. It's open to students at any level of musicianship, but this is the type of class that would be especially important for a student considering pursuing music at the college level. And this semester course is a prereq for AP Music Theory, which is offered in the upper grades. So all of the classes I described on the first 2 slides count toward graduation requirements in fine and practical arts. The music technology course is available as a STEM credit, which will be important to note as students must take 1 credit of STEM through the electives to fulfill graduation requirements. If your child is considering taking music classes as a freshman, I would encourage you to come to one of the breakout sessions in the band room after this full group presentation, and I'll talk about pathways for students who want to enroll in music classes throughout high school while earning all their necessary graduation credits. And then the last thing I want to highlight is just the co-curricular opportunities that are available in music. For those of you who might have participated in music in high school or have students who enjoy it, you know that music is not just something that you do during the school day, but it becomes really a big part of a student's life. So, you know, they can audition for extra groups, and one of the highlights is the students do take trips in music ensembles. Last year, the band went to New Orleans. This year, the orchestra is going to Washington, D.C. The choir is going to perform at Disney and Universal in Orlando. So these are great opportunities to build friendships, gain independence, and perform in new places. So that's an additional perk to registering for performance ensembles. So I would love to speak with you more if you'll come to a breakout session, or if you are pulled in too many different directions tonight, feel free to contact me via email, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. And last but certainly not least, Christian Dockeman, Science.
Good evening. I believe this is the 6th time that I've sat through this type of presentation, and my head is spinning, so I can only imagine how those that are here for the first time are feeling right now. So as the science department chair, I really want to provide some insight into our options for your 9th grader. Highlight some of the courses that are found within our science sequence, and then talk a little bit about how your 8th grader is preparing to become a biologist here at DHS. So as a 9th grade student, every student will take a biology course. We have 2 different options. It's our 300 academic level biology and our 400 honors level biology. And those placements are done, are being done currently, and will be available to your students in the very, very near future. Really, the difference between the 2, very similar in terms of content and overall biological understandings that are part of the courses. But really, the 300 biology is really designed to help your student build the scientific skills that are going to be necessary as they move through their high school sequence. Those skills could include creating and carrying out investigations, analyzing data, asking questions, really focusing on those foundational skills and the practices that are necessary to be a scientist. Within those skill development pieces, we focus our units on real-world phenomena. So, for example, a unit on body systems may be rooted in what happens to a marathon runner from the beginning of a marathon to the finish of that marathon. And the activities, labs, and learning sequences devoted to highlighting the different types of reactions that happen during anywhere from a 2-hour to 7.5-hour experience. And within the context of that 300 level class, a lot of the work in the classroom is done collaboratively and really focuses on peer-to-peer discourse and utilizing the ideas of others to highlight the critical concepts that are built upon within that biology class. The 400 or honors level, it really comes down to being more of an application of the biological concepts and applying them to a variety of new and novel situations. In doing so, the pace of the class is at a higher level. There is a larger degree of independent learning. So for example, they may have to look at the organelles or learn about the actual organelles on their own, and then they would come into class and have to apply that understanding of the organelles to a different type of cell or a variety of types of cells within the classroom. And then really that necessitates a higher time demand outside of the classroom. So it is a more demanding in terms of a student's time throughout. So both of those classes provide access to chemistry and earth science as 10th grade, and then traditionally physics as 11th grader, or a series of electives. It's important to note that no matter what class your son or daughter has as a freshman, that they will have access and the ability to access honors and AP level courses throughout their time here at DHS. We do not have specific tracks in terms of students who start in honors classes and stay in honors classes, and a student who starts in our 300 level biology certainly has the opportunity to move on to honors chemistry or AP physics as they develop those scientific skills and further their scientific literacy within the program itself. One of our important and very unique electives is mentioned at the bottom, and that's our Authentic Science Research class, and that's a 3-year elective where students commit to 3 years of research on a topic of their choice, and it's a unique experience as they start from a sort of bibliographic research and move all the way through a field study the summer of their senior year and collecting data with a mentor within the field of their choice. Lastly, over the past 4 or 5 years, we've made some curricular shifts at the middle school to help support your student and their experience in 9th grade biology. So throughout the second semester of your 8th grade science experience, students will take units or participate in units in genetics and natural selection, and also comparative structures, and looking at how anatomical structures from past organisms show the relationships that we see within organisms today. So those are important stepping stones and an important sort of precursor to much of the work that they will be doing during their time in 9th grade biology. So I look forward to answering any questions in our breakout sessions, and certainly if you have any questions and can't make those sessions this evening, please feel free to reach out to me, and enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you, Christian. And I'm going to pause there just for a second to thank my amazing colleagues for their time and their expertise. I hope you all want to come back to high school. And I hope what really came through is not only are your children, of course, going to receive a wonderful education here at the high school, but we want them to have a lot of fun. They're going to change and grow. That's a lot about what high school is learning who you are and who you want to be. And we have the privilege of being a small part of that journey. And so we take that responsibility very seriously, and we can't wait to have your kids here. So I'm going to let my colleagues go and get a little bit of a jump start to their room locations, and then we'll wrap up here and send you on your way as well. Thank you all again. Thank you. So these are a few more of the resources that are available at the high school. You'll learn more about all of them, but we really have just wonderful resources in addition to our faculty. We offer a High School 101 course, we affectionately call it, which is done through our summer school. So that's a little bit of information. You're certainly welcome to take a picture of it if you like. But it really is designed, especially if there's a student who's a little bit nervous about coming to the high school, wants to spend some time in the building. It's run by a few of our school counselors. You can see it's just a couple hours for a few days. And so a lot of students get a lot of benefit of that program. So that is available. And again, also more information through the Darien Summer School website. So we are so grateful for you for coming. We hope it was super informative. If you, especially the returning parents who maybe feel like they've got this down, you can enjoy the rest of your evening. If you'd like to continue on to our breakout sessions, there's a printed map of the building and also these room locations. This is where the different departments will be. Again, there are wonderful students spread throughout the halls to help you to get there. We ran a tiny couple of minutes over, so we'll adjust a little bit. We'll give you some time to get to those rooms, and then each of those sessions will be about 15 minutes, and I'll announce it on the PA. Okay, so if you'd like to go to the breakout sessions, I see the Mr. Mazzoni passing out the maps and the room locations in the back, and thank you again so much for coming. Welcome to Darien High School.